Welcome, everyone, to the Icon Nerds Podcast, a weekly show that tells you what is going on in the nerdy world. I am CJ Millen, joined, as always, by Josh Burns and Brian Thornton.
What up?
I am not Brian Thornton. I am a pale comparison of what Brian Thornton normally is.
He's half the man he used to be.
Half the man.
But you know what? I appreciate your dedication, even coming here when you don't feel well. So, listeners, send us a little get well soon message for Brian. Hopefully he'll be over by the time you listen to this, but we could always use the love.
He could have the SARS.
Could have
hopefully,
the SARS.
I hopefully do not have the SARS.
From a remote location, Brian Thornton with the SARS.
I'm standing here with Brian Thornton.
Okay, I'm going to start off this episode with just the thing that pains me the most, but it's the biggest thing that we all have to talk about. Wreck-It Ralph breaks the internet. Wreck-It Ralph 2 has an official trailer. They pushed back this movie. I was ready to get slapped in the face, I think this month in March.
See if this sounds familiar. Not yet? No?
Not yet, but it will.
Soon.
Oh, they didn't push this back.
So, yes, they
It was
did.
always slated for November.
No, it was supposed to be earlier.
No, I don't believe you.
I had a countdown on our website, and yes, it's off. I changed it. It's supposed to be earlier. Let me give you some context for those of you playing the home game. Back in 2012, Brian and I were working together, and Wreck-It Ralph came out, and we both enjoyed the movie. But I didn't think it did as well as Disney expected to monetarily. So I looked this man square in the eyes, and with whatever brain cells were left in my head, go, you know what? I don't think they're going to make a Wreck-It Ralph 2.
And me being a smart person said they absolutely
Knowing
will.
Disney, even if it gets
Disney.
a padded VHS box and gets stuck right on the shelf.
So
And the way movies work, I have knowledge.
So me just being now a belligerent dumbass,
A salty bastard.
just going, you've insulted me, so if they do it, you can slap me. And I'm thinking, yeah, good call, woo. No, very, very dumb, very dumb. I will be getting slapped in the face this November.
I gotta find something where you guys can make another slap bet, so that it either goes CJ takes Brian's slap from him, or Brian gets two, not double or nothing.
Right. Okay.
Not that. Like, you get the
appreciate-
satisfaction of slapping, like taking the slap.
I get it, but I could also then just get slapped twice.
Yeah, that would be glorious.
Okay, listeners, you have some homework. Love some ideas for this. Listen, the trailer looks great. I mean, it looks hilarious. Looks funny. It's everything I want it to be. I have a very strange relationship with this movie now because I really want to see it, but at the same time, I kind of hope it just dies.
How's it
somewhere.
everything you wanted it to be? You didn't want there to be a sequel.
No, I didn't. I wanted there to be. I didn't think they were going. Again, I was an idiot. I was wrong.
Yeah,
But here's the deal. We're gonna make an event out of this. We're gonna make a deal out of this. We're gonna make a night out of it. If you go to our Patreon page, patreon.com/thatkindofnerd, you can donate to the cause, which is the slap event, detailing what will happen. There, we could do T-shirts. We could try to do a live stream. It's all based on what we are able to do.
Yeah, it's gonna start at a bar for sure. So there's gonna be
donate
that
money so I can
least.
stick rocks in a glove.
So a couple bucks here and there will help us with setting a goal to do something for you, the fans. Come to it. Our ultimate goal is we want to do a screening of the movie with you, the fans. So if you're interested in that, and of course getting to see me get slapped in the face extremely hard by Brian, go to patreon.com/thatkindofnerd. Link is in the show notes. Donate to that, and we can all make that a reality.
Brian, I'm buying you a stack of cinder blocks to practice.
Yes.
In trailer news that did not make me upset at all, but we with glee, was Fahrenheit 451 has an official teaser now. Michael B. Jordan looks freaking amazing in this movie. I am so psyched. I just reread the book not too long ago. What did you guys think about the trailer, though, now that we got some footage?
So I agree that Michael B. Jordan looks cool. I'm not sold on him. This screams like Equilibrium to me, and I don't see him in that sort of role. So I think he can be good, but what really, really, really gives me pause at this point is Michael Shannon. Like, that dude is not a big movie guy.
No, but he is. This is HBO.
He's creepy, yeah.
And he's an HBO alum. He's done a lot of things on HBO.
I get it. I do.
He's great in what he does.
I know. I
liked him as Zod, right? I liked him in Boardwalk Empire.
I get it. I think he brings this down a level. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's not going to be good. I think it could be good.
Right.
I just think
Maybe a different actor then, in your opinion?
In my opinion.
I mean, the Chief is a crazy guy. Brian, what do you think about the footage, what we've seen?
No, yeah, the teaser looked good. I mean, but my first thought after watching the teaser was, man, Michael B. Jordan is really into burning stuff lately. Burning stuff in Black Panther.
Burning the heart-shaped plants.
He burned himself in Fantastic Four, both in the movie and in his career. I mean, it's just, he's into burning things. I don't know if I want Michael B. Jordan to be the sponsor for forest fires anytime soon.
Well, only you can prevent forest fires.
Right. And if Michael B. Jordan's there, he's just going to burn it all. I cannot prevent Michael B. Jordan.
You're saying you won't be able to prevent that, is what you're saying.
No, I can't stop Michael B. Jordan. He's too damn charismatic.
Michael B. Jordan goes to go camping and Smokey the Bear's like, ooh, could you not? Could you please? Don't do that. That'd be great.
Here's interesting. Every time we see Michael B. Jordan in a movie, doesn't even matter if she knows it's coming, right? If Laura sees Michael B. Jordan on the screen, she immediately goes, Wallace was too young to die.
Where's Wallace? I was just watching.
Wallace was too young to die.
I was just watching Parenthood with Jenny on Hulu, which, by the way, I highly recommend. It's a great show. But Michael B. Jordan's in there, and the whole time he comes on screen, I just go, where's Wallace? Where's Wallace? And if you don't get that reference, you need to watch The Wire, and you see like 14-year-old Michael B. Jordan doing
he was so good.
Such a great role. Highly recommend.
Did he burn things in The Wire? Did he burn The Wire?
He didn't.
He did not.
No?
But this movie.
So his love for burning really did not start there. We need to trace this back. Where did Michael B. Jordan burn his first thing?
The fire did not rise.
Oh, yes. I can't. I wish I could.
No, I'm not.
I like the fact that they've also updated a little bit of the Fahrenheit 441 to include the internet and to include some more modern things. And I mean, a lot of it.
How does one burn the internet?
Yes, burn the servers, I guess. People who printed things out from the internet. I don't know. They said burn the internet of old. I don't know. I know you can break the internet. That's what Wreck-It Ralph just did, but I don't know how to burn the internet.
You stab
and I will break your face
with a screwdriver.
So speaking of fire, I'm reaching for this segue, so let it happen.
Wow, this segue is
a Flaming Hot Cheetos movie is coming, and it actually sounds pretty good.
To you?
I think it sounds good. I think this is an interesting concept.
It's a nice story. I don't know if I can watch an hour and 40-minute movie of it.
You know what this isn't? This isn't The Founder starring Michael Keaton.
No, this is The Pursuit of Happiness.
It's not even that. I mean,
do we think Michael Keaton might be the guy with the Flamin' Hot Cheetos? Because I can get behind that.
No, it's someone from Hispanic descent, because that's who the actual guy was.
Hey! You saying Michael Keaton can't play a dude dressed as a dude playing another dude?
Right, it's true. If you don't know the story behind Flamin' Hot Cheetos, it was a janitor at the facility. Was he should actually
he was a janitor at Frito-Lay, and he would take like a lot of the the defects, and he would put hot sauce on them.
The unpowdered Cheetos, the plain Cheetos.
Right. And he would put hot sauce on them and eat them, and he's like, this is a really great idea.
Well, it wasn't just hot sauce.
No, he made like a concoction out.
Yeah, it's like chili spice. It's stuff that's based off of there's a Mexican street food.
Listen, guys. Listen up. Flamin' Hot Cheetos. I'm not a chef. Do you eat Flamin' Hot Cheetos?
I've never actually had them. I'm going to now because
shit.
I heard they're very hot.
They're my absolute favorite thing in the.
They're good.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't every time somebody has a bag, I'm like, girl, I cannot have French fries. But Flamin' Hot Cheetos are amazing. When I was quite a bit younger and it was okay to eat Flamin' Hot Cheetos at 2 a.m., I would eat Flamin' Hot Cheetos at 2 a.m. Right. They are fantastic. Everyone should eat Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
So, I mean, this guy got kicked up the corporate ladder and is now in charge of, I think, marketing or whatever it is.
Executive for Frito-Lay now.
Which is amazing. And now when it comes to the movie, though, when you're hearing all this, you're like, all right, this sounds like a heartwarming story. The screenwriter of October Sky is the one that's in charge of writing this movie. I happen to like October Sky. It's also a pretty good biopic. So I'm on board for this. I think that you got the right pedigree already right there. I think you got the story. I think you just need to make sure that the right people are there, and they're on their way.
I just want to be on record. I want to be on record saying I love Flamin' Hot Cheetos. And if anyone can take anything away from this podcast, it's that I love Flamin' Hot Cheetos. But I'm not sure about a Flamin' Hot Cheetos movie.
We shall.
But
see.
I do love the product.
What's great? You're smart enough to not go. You know what? That this movie's gonna be terrible. Slap it like an idiot. I am sitting right here, so I appreciate you at least.
Right. Because I'll be the asshole weeping in the theater and then knowing I'm gonna get slapped.
Right. Absolutely. All right. So the last bit of movie news, movie and TV news is the movie The Rocketeer. I have a love-hate relationship with the movie Rocketeer. It was like one of my favorite movies as a kid. I don't think there's a cooler helmet in existence besides the Rocketeer's helmet. The movie's fantastic, and now Disney Junior is going to be rebooting the series as a animated show. But they are doing a little bit of a twist on it too. They're now including a young female Rocketeer. So I'd love to hear your experience with the Rocketeer, the movie, and what do you think of this as a series? Let's start with Josh.
We should probably start with Brian. I have neither seen the movie nor understand your helmet reference. So let's hear what Brian has to say.
The helmet is awesome, Josh. And I'm glad that you kicked things over to me. Thank you so much. No, I loved The Rocketeer growing up. This was a great movie. Timothy Dalton was the villain, and he was, before he became a joke. And Jennifer Connelly was, in it, and I can't remember the guy who played The Rocketeer.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem with the guy who played.
He's been in other stuff since. He was in 4400, which I watched. I just don't remember his name. But
Billy Campbell?
Who?
Billy Campbell?
Yeah, that sounds right. Anyway.
Okay.
I loved this movie growing up. It was, mid 90s, very, pulp 1950s pulp 1950s superhero. I loved it. And it really was just a guy with a rocket on his back and a gun, which was even cooler because then, I could be the Rocketeer. But anyway.
He was fighting Nazis and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Hollywood.
Yeah, he was like, fighting on blimps and stuff, and that stuff's always cool. If there's a blimp involved, it's always awesome. I don't know if you realize this. Blimps are cool.
No ticket.
What's that?
I said no ticket.
Okay, I don't get your reference.
It's Indiana Jones
Indiana
reference.
Jones and the Last Crusade.
Last Crusade.
Wow.
This is like one of the most famous blimp scenes
It's like
besides
the only blimp scene that comes to mind.
Immediately.
Really?
Yes.
It's the only blimp scene that comes to mind for you? I think
of Archer. I think of Indiana Jones, and then I think of oh god, the humanity. That's all I think about with blimps and the Rocketeer.
What's the oh god, the humanity?
The Hindenburg?
Yeah.
Oh well,
the actual.
I don't think of the actual Hindenburg.
Hindenburg. When someone says blimp, I think of Hindenburg.
I don't think of disaster.
I was going to cut that out, but it's totally stayed in
The
now.
Hindenburg has never crossed my mind.
Okay,
ever.
so let's get back to the Rocketeer. On is it anim? So what do you think about this? Now animated
Now,
on Disney
I was about
Junior.
to get to it.
It's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, see, that's what you get when I edit. No, I mean, I'm not so sure about Disney Junior because I don't like Disney Junior, but it depends. It depends. I gotta see.
Disney Junior's like Sprout Plus.
I don't know what
They're
Sprout
hit
is.
and miss.
Sprout's like a baby channel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I gotta see a trailer. I gotta see, animation. I gotta see it in action.
So what they're saying is that it's targeting kids between ages 2 and 7. It will feature two 11-minute
I'm
stories per episode. It'll have the original song and debuting sometime in 2019.
CJ, I don't know if you know
It's
this,
gonna
but
be
I am not.
It's gonna be
I'm
like
not
Dora.
between the ages of 2 and
It's gonna
7.
be Dora with a jetpack. I'm not kidding.
No,
it's gonna
you're
be
probably right.
It's gonna be Dora with
Can
a
you
jetpack.
show us where the Nazis are? Great.
Can someone show me where the gum is so my rocket doesn't blow up?
Good Lord.
Yeah,
Baby Groot trying to find
I
the
was-
button.
I was
every
open
episode.
to this until you said they're marketing it to ages 2 and 7.
Me too,
Now
and I'm
no.
kind of hoping that's wrong. I don't know.
It's probably not for ages 12 to 17, so
We shall see. But no, I mean it's interesting. And Josh, I could tell you to go see The Rocketeer, but I don't think it holds up. I think it's one of those movies that if you saw it and you have the nostalgia feel for it, you'll love it. But if you've never
It
seen
holds
it,
when did it come out?
Like
1991.
91, okay.
Oh,
It holds up.
I probably should have seen it, but I didn't.
Yeah.
It holds up.
I don't know.
CJ, shut your whore mouth.
I'm not gonna see it.
Okay, then. Well, let's get on to some big news, and it's surrounding the world of comics, how it's affecting TV, how it's affecting movies, but right now, how it's affecting the entire world. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Cape Talk.
Cape Talk.
So listen, let's just talk about it. Robert Downey Jr. and Marvel decided to have a little bit of a tweet exchange, and we are now moving the Marvel's Infinity War up from May 4th to April 27th. We just moved the movie up in the U.S. A whole week.
It's a smart move.
I think it's done to avoid spoilers. I think because it was being done internationally on the 27th already, and the U.S. was getting it a week later. I think they're just worried about everybody spoiling the movie.
I don't think that's what it is at all.
Well, I have another.
When's the last time you got a movie spoiled for you because of overseas markets?
They're not moving it because it's Force Day and whatnot. So what's your theory?
My theory?
Yeah.
My theory is that Disney now has a large stake in Fox, and May 18th, Deadpool comes out, and they don't want any Deadpool box office taken away from the Avengers box office.
Right, 2 weeks, people are still
you
going
move
to
it
the
up
theater.
a week, you got a solid 2.5, 3 weeks of box office performance for Avengers, and then you can make your Deadpool money.
Yep.
The other thing that I thought as well was, as we've seen in the trailer, a lot of Infinity War takes place in Wakanda. So I'm thinking if they're moving it up, it's closer to a little bit of Black Panther being in a lot of people's minds, trying to pull in some of those audiences who probably would not have seen a lot of comic book movies and pull them in to see it. Knowing, hey, Black Panther's heavily featured, and that movie is, right now I think over $800 million. And it's run. I mean, that movie is right now unstoppable.
Yeah, I'm still like I'm about to see it a third time. Like I want to see it again.
Yo, text me. We'll see it together.
Right.
So this is great. The Twitter exchange goes like this: Marvel Studios, on a scale from 1 to infinity, how excited are you to see Infinity War on May 14th? Oh, I'm sorry, May 4th. Robert Downey Jr. Any chance I can see it earlier? Anything for you, Mr. Stark? How's April 27th? Great. With friends? Yeah, you mean like Chris Evans, Chadwick Boseman, the list goes on. No, the entire world? That's fantastic idea. Well done. And then they've moved it up. So, it's just a little Twitter exchange done with Robert Downey Jr. I think that's clever enough to get the word out.
I think they should move it up to tomorrow.
Oh, God. Right now, beam it into my eyeballs. Just make it happen.
Right.
All right, the next bit of news, it was Brian, I text Brian about this topic, and I asked some people out on Facebook for their feedback about it, and Brian had a way different reaction than I did, and I'm very curious to hear where you fall on this, Josh. James Gunn went on Twitter and kind of set the record straight with Groot and said that Groot died, and baby Groot is his son, to which I, my wife, and a slew of people on Facebook go, what, really? No, this is so sad. Brian gave me the how did you not know this? So how did you fall on this news, Josh?
It kind of made sense. I didn't have any issue with it. And when you look at how Baby Groot interacts with the entire cast, it all falls in line. So I didn't feel any kind of way about it.
Now, Brian, why was it just so clear to you, and how did all of us miss this? Like, just what about this did
he had
we
no
not
memories. He was a teen,
I don't know how any of you missed it.
Like
he
an
had
angsty
no memories.
Angsty teenagers. If he was Groot, he would have total recall. So
But he's a baby. He couldn't express any of that. I didn't see him.
No, you can't expressing it's one thing, but having no recollection of things that you knew in the past, that's a different thing. Like, he had different relationships with the characters. That's not the same person. Like, that was very apparent from the beginning of the movie that the relationships were different. Brian, am I crazy?
No, you're not crazy. That's why I was sitting there being like, why is it? Because CJ's not the only person who texted me this news. I got a couple texts being like, what? How? And I'm like, how did you think it wasn't?
Guys,
like,
when you tear a tree out of the ground and destroy it can't just regrow on its own. Like,
that right there was the analogy that someone gave to me that finally made it okay in my brain. Not the no memories thing, not the different personality. I'm like, well, I mean, you're starting over from zero, so yeah, you're going to be different. Kind of like Doctor Who, kind of thing. But then someone's like, think of a plant, dude. You uproot a plant and you transplant it into a different pot of soil. It's a different plant. And I'm like, oh shit, that makes, and it would be like a son.
No, that's not at all. If you transplant the plant, it's the same plant.
No, like if you cut off a piece of it and maybe transplants wrong. I don't know.
No, it's still the same thing. If you take seeds from an existing plant and you plant them, but then that original plant, you get Michael B. Jordan to burn it. Right? The seeds you planted will grow into a new plant. The old plant, Michael B. Jordan burned it, so it's gone. He did.
And it was analogies like that made it okay.
So look,
in my brain.
Here's where I'm at with it. Like, honestly, it was very clear to me that this was a different personality. Now, that said, it doesn't mean that it's any less Groot. See, seedlings essentially become what, you know what I mean? Where they came from. Like, the plant world is pretty straightforward. They're not human beings. They don't develop differently. They just grow into what they came from. So a tree is always going to be a tree is always going to be a tree. It's going to be the same thing, right? But maybe with slightly different relationships, which is, when you think about it, brilliant on Marvel's part, because you can have Groot be something different in each iteration and he can always come back.
Right.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Brian?
I'm actually surprised, real quick before Brian comes in. Not only did you show off your amazing turtle knowledge the other week, I didn't know you were a botanist either. I mean, the depth that you have in knowledge is just overwhelming.
This is some fantastic tree knowledge.
I understand the basics of life, and I know that things can't be different than...
I just learned something new about you every week. It's amazing. I love it. Brian?
I agree with Josh.
That's always the right thing to say.
Well, I agree with Josh because
when in doubt,
I said all these things.
I agree with Josh. I should get that tattooed on me somewhere. Okay. Well, listen, I didn't know. A couple other people didn't know. Josh has a great analogy. All makes sense.
I don't think it's just a couple other people, because this was big enough to make news.
It was actual news.
It was a lot of people.
I felt much better about myself being dumb than I did when I first started off.
Oh, I'm not over here saying that I had that assumption, but it didn't, like...
Right.
It just,
once someone said it, you're like, oh, yeah, it makes sense.
It makes total sense.
Right.
Yeah.
So last bit of Cape Talk comes down to two things that are happening. There is a report coming out by Fox saying that they are going to keep making their comic book movies until they are not allowed to anymore. And that could be in the middle of a production of a movie. They're just going to keep going. They're not going to stop with their Marvel properties. And that leads into the fact that there may be a Silver Surfer movie in the works at Fox. And I think the last time we saw Silver Surfer with Fox was the second Fantastic Four.
They did such a great job with the rise of the Silver Surfer movie.
Yeah, it was so bad.
You know what I loved? The way they handled Galactus.
Ooh.
Fox, please stop.
You know, I really liked Silver Surfer books when I was a kid. Like, I liked reading them. I didn't have a large collection. I probably only have, maybe 30 or 40 of them, but I liked reading them.
Yeah, because they're great and they're visually stunning, and it's a space opera. It could be so good. Not with Fox, though.
It was just awful. Fox. I was so disappointed, with Fantastic Four 2 that I'm so gun shy about seeing another Silver Surfer Fantastic Four movie. I can't. I'm not sure.
The question comes to, what could they do to make you feel better about it, or is there nothing they can do?
They could wait till they're officially bought by Disney and let Marvel do it.
Is that, and don't try to make him into Dr. Manhattan.
They have one person attached to writing it. It's Brian K. Vaughan.
Yeah, he's a comic book writer. He's actually really good.
Right, he helped make The Runaways, Why the Last Man, a couple other things as well. Does that make you feel a little better that they actually put a comic book person in charge of doing the Silver Surfer? Because that's not an easy story to tell.
No, it doesn't.
How is it not an easy story to tell?
Because you need a lot of other people involved in it.
No, you don't. You could do just purely Silver Surfer. But here's the thing. It doesn't make me feel any better that Brian K. Vaughan is doing a treatment because it's going to get butchered. This is the way the movie industry works. They get some comic book writer. They're like, hey, comic book writer, write the outline, give us an idea of what the movie should be. And then they hire some screenwriter to go ahead and butcher the entire freaking thing.
Right.
So I like Brian K. Vaughan. Almost everything he's written, I've highly enjoyed. He actually had a run on Silver Surfer, if I recall correctly. That was really good. I don't trust in Fox to not butcher it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So basically, it comes down to because they're going to make it. I mean, they're going to do it. I mean,
I'm just hoping that we step the gas on the whole deal to go through, and Disney goes.
Because the other parties that were
this.
in conversation to buy them have stepped away, and they're on to a different acquisition. So it should be set that Disney is going to make this happen. They just need to now do all the regulatory stuff. So yeah, I agree with you, man. I'm okay with them even putting this into production, and then if Disney comes in and goes, "Hey, yo," and yanks it out of production, I'm okay with that. And if something was working, steal what was working and throw out the rest. And also,
they wouldn't be stealing it because they bought them.
Touche.
They would just be saying,
"I own this.
Ours.
This is mine."
Look at, I think this is mine now. Take
Flag
that,
planted.
It's like that comic where he's like, "Hey, I make these," and then like they take them away. He's like, "Hey, I made something." It's like,
I licked them. They're mine now. You can't have them. Claimed. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you also know, I love to go on the internet. I like to find the weird. I like to find the obscure. And then I ask for a tech perspective.
boop, 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 boop.
Oh, it's a sick tech perspectives jingle.
It is a sick text.
It's at like a 35% tech perspective. It's sad. Brian and Josh, every time I get on the internet, I look for the next Foldy Mate. I look for something that could possibly
We
fill
do
the
love
gap.
the Foldy Mate. The Foldy Mate's amazing.
For those of you who don't know, by the way,
Why do I not have a Foldy Mate yet?
Foldy Mate on this show is it should be
It's
its
back
own,
from like episode 10.
should be its own damn host. The Foldy Mate is a wonderful technological feat where you take clothes, feed it into this machine, it will steam and fold your clothes for you. I brought it up on the show thinking these two guys are going to find this utterly ridiculous and this is stupid, to which they said, this is the greatest thing in the world. Why the hell don't I have one of these? Now, I have to ask a question. Do any of you have one yet?
Not yet.
Okay, this should be a little...
I live in an apartment. They don't come outfitted with
This should be
Foldy
a
Mates
little
were not
more...
made available for me yet.
This should be a little more available. It's called the IVAC, and that's EYEVAC. Dumb name, but hear me out. So this is
You mean like the O-Neaters?
Yes, the O-Neaters. This is a motion sensitive vacuum that sucks up whatever debris you put in front of it. So you're sweeping up the kitchen, you have one central spot, you usually put all the dust. No one likes dustpans at all because they're only 82% efficient, and you just put
There's
it right
always
in
that
front.
fucking line. There's always that one line. It doesn't matter how much I sweep.
You know that 83% of statistics are made up on the spot?
That's exactly what I heard, but I only heard 52%. Is that accurate?
Could be.
I actually
80% of
heard
the time
only
it works all the time.
77% of people believe them.
That's true. So anyway, so you put this thing right in front of it. No more lines, right? It even has some air filtration inside of it. So
Isn't this what a Roomba is?
Well, no.
No. See, a Roomba just sort of moseys around the room and cleans shit up. This requires me to pick up a fucking broom, which I'm never going to do.
Does it?
And and
That's
sweep
stupid.
shit. Like, this is not something new. Like, barbershops,
I am ashamed.
barbershops have had this technology for a decade and a half.
Long time, yes.
I am ashamed that CJ put this in the same sentence as the Foldy Mate then.
It's not only is it not new, it's not innovative, and it requires me to work. Why would I want this?
The whole point of technology is so that it don't have to work.
Yeah, do less with
And
more.
and
Take back your time.
your analogy of the Roomba, I have one problem with the Roomba. I also have a tiny, basically toy dog who will occasionally, when she gets overly excited, just take a shit on the carpet because she hates my guts. And if I had a Roomba, that's going all over the floor of my apartment.
Well, I got to tell you, man, a Roomba would keep the entire apartment clean.
Yeah, get rid of the dog.
I would love
Get
to.
a Roomba.
Like all the time, every day. And Home Depot sells shovels for like $20. Like, that seems like an easy choice to me.
What's your dog's name?
No.
What's your dog's name?
My dog's name is Daisy.
Okay, get rid of the dog, buy a Roomba, name it Daisy. No
There
one
you
will
go.
be the wiser.
You can label Daisy, like all the money you save in dog food and other jazz, you could buy a label maker and put the label Daisy on the Roomba. That way
Right.
the girls know to call the Roomba Daisy and treat it like a pet,
Very true.
right? But it won't, you know what the Roomba won't do is take a shit on your carpet.
That's also very true. So the IVAC is $109 if you are the person who is interested. You can also get a used one for $65, but like, don't get a used automatic dustpan. I think
who's already using this shit?
I don't know.
Who's already? Wait! This is so bad that people have bought it, used it, and have said no, and then put it back up for sale.
Yeah, I got to put it on let go.
You got it.
No. God, CJ.
Listen, I'm just finding what I find on the internet and asking for your perspective on it.
Yeah,
perspective.
My perspective is
perspective
don't ever segue with my wonderful foldy mate into a piece of garbage.
Brian, I believe you put this one into the show notes here.
Did I?
Yes. The God of War and Twisted Metal director revealed that there was a scrapped Iron Man VR game, and apparently he's just selling memorabilia from his studio online willy-nilly.
It's not online. Well, it's not willy-nilly. They're closing one of their offices, and that's where they are selling these things out of. It was also the office that was working on this Iron Man VR experience, which sounded amazing. So from what I read, not only would you put on the Sony VR and you would be like Tony Stark in the suit, but you would be able to talk to Jarvis via the mic, and Jarvis would, interact with you. You would also have the ability to have other people join you by playing other characters like Captain America and Hulk and things like that while you were Iron Man in the suit. This sounds amazing. And the whole thing was he just started releasing all this information because they're closing the office. Marvel had no idea they were making it. They were like, oh, we're going to tool around with this and we're going to show it to Marvel to hopefully sell it to them. And now they're closing their studio. And it makes me sad. And I think someone should pick this up and do it.
Yeah, I want to play. If that were to be the game that would happen, I want it to be the one level where Tony first learns how to fly. Right, and he's hovering over the car 80%, 20%.
Yeah, that's like the tutorial.
That's what I want. I just want that. I mean, that right there is worth the price of admission. I would play that. Probably get sick, but I would totally play that. Josh, I know that you are the guy who made your iPhone a British Siri so you could think of it as Jarvis. And I don't know where you kind of stand on the VR world like this, but what do you think about this game? Maybe one day get into Marvel's hands.
I mean, you said VR, and I immediately stopped listening. So there's that. And nope, that's it. That's the end of it.
But Brian, what else from the studio closing was interesting, or was it really just the Iron Man stuff?
Just the Iron Man stuff. The fact that they're pretty much auctioning off a lot of stuff out of their offices to give away to charity and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know what this means for the future of some of these games, because this is the studio that was always doing God of War and Twisted Metal, and the new God of War comes out like next month, so I'm assuming they're going to shift some of their major games over to their main office. But it's upsetting, CJ. It hurts my soul.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry that I had to reopen those wounds.
Yeah, seriously.
My apologies. Well, moving away from the world of VR and moving into AR, Sony is trying to cash in on Pokemon Go's success with Ghostbusters World, which is basically going to be Pokemon Go, but instead of Pokemon, it's ghosts, and you try to. Why? I mean,
why not?
Why not? I'm actually excited for this.
Yeah, why
because
not?
At least I know with a Ghostbusters game, they're not going to promise that I'm going to be able to battle ghosts with other ghosts. Like,
no, you're just going to catch them.
You just got to catch them. And like, I want to save the world from ghosts because I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
Like, I just want to, like, every time I catch something, I want to hear, did it. Like, as long as I hear, as long as I hear the theme.
Why not just make that then your text message tone? Like, why do you need a whole separate, like, I don't think anyone's this is gonna be the same thing with mobile games again. It's hot for 3-6 months.
Yeah,
and
I'm okay with this being hot for 6 months.
Sure, this is fine. This is
different.
Ghostbusters needs better than that.
That's not true. We gave them a shitty movie, so we're good.
Yeah, pretty shitty movie.
Well, think of it. It's the same studio that did that shitty movie. I mean, who do you think they're going to feature?
It's a game. I don't care.
I don't think they're going to feature anybody because it's going to be you. I am the Ghostbuster.
Yeah, I'm always Peter Venkman. There's no
right. Josh, there can't be two Venkmans. You have to change. I'm Venkman.
You're very clearly not as much Venkman as you're more Egon, I think.
And the Stranger Things reference goes, woo.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
I got it. I ignored it because I would never dress like a ghost.
So this game is coming out for both Android and iOS this year. They were showing it off at the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, Spain. I don't know, man. This isn't the same. This isn't Niantic. This isn't the same people that made Pokemon Go. This is going to be a 4033 Inc., which I've never heard of. I don't know. My problem is it's probably not going to be well done, and it's just going to be another black eye on the Ghostbusters franchise, like that terrible animated show that they did, which was complete garbage. And
The real Ghostbusters?
yeah, that is awful.
No, shut your whore mouth.
The real Ghostbusters is
No, I'm
terrible.
not having this debate with you whilst recording. In fact, I will slap you twice just for that.
No, sir.
You're so stupid sometimes. The real Ghostbusters is a treasure.
Oh God, it's awful.
You're awful.
I think we've now identified the age gap between the two of us, where I hated that.
Yeah, 2 years.
All right.
I can't believe you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of the show where we take a look at a product, a topic, a movie, and we give it the third degree. Ladies and gentlemen, we call it the nerd degree. And we are looking today at something that maybe not new to a lot of you, but damn it, we need to discuss this. And that is the wonderful, weird, and the just odd ostrich pillow, which is the napping revolution pillow, where you can nap anywhere by looking like an alien and just being dumb. Someone please describe this to those who don't know what the ostrich pillow is.
But the original, like the ostrich pillow original, is the one we're talking about?
The original, the one with the hand things on the top. And
it looks like, wasn't there a show like Adventure Time or some shit where there was a guy with a thing on his head?
Yes.
Kinda
Or
looks
like a bear hat.
It looks like that. Like, look, I think Laura saw this and she served it up, and I thought, this is fucking weird.
They have people like they're pitching it to wearing in an office. So here it is, a big pillow, huge, takes over your head, has a little cutout for just your nose and mouth. So when you lay down on the desk, right now, the next question is, well, what do I do with my hands? Well,
I don't know what to do with my hands.
You put them, of course, right above your head, and a little cutout for your hands. So this way, you just lay your head on the and you're in a napping position. They are telling people to take this onto a plane.
Yeah.
No.
I would totally fucking buy this.
Really? Because there's also 3 varieties of it, or multiple varieties. There's the ostrich pillow original, right? Which is the
I gotta tell you, I would love to be the fucking freak with the thing on his fucking head.
Is it
like
just
everybody around me going, what is going on with this guy? And I open my tray table and I take a nap. Like, I would, this.
Is it for the conversation or the functionality of the thing? Like, you just want to nap anyway?
Look, I gotta tell you, man, I take a lot of long flights, and there's a lot of times where I end up opening the tray table and actually just like it's a desk in high school, just laying down on it, right? So, like, I've done that a bunch of times, and this is not only is it awesome, but like, I take a red eye probably 4 times a year, and this would make a red eye way better. If I could just open up the tray table and lay down like I would in a bed,
right.
This is, yep.
They also have the ostrich pillow light, which is just essentially, it goes over it's almost like a sleeping mask, but it's 360. It just goes all the way around. Then there's the mini, and the ostrich. God, I really wish I could explain how dumb the mini looks. The mini, you put it on your hand, and then you cradle your head on your hand, and it's got a little spot for your thumb so your hand doesn't get all sweaty.
It's a glove?
It's basically a glove, yes.
All
It's
right.
a glove with a pillow put on the end of it. And then there's the Ostrich Pillow Go.
Which is just a neck pillow.
Which is just a neck pillow, right? That one's like, oh, that makes sense.
But it actually solves the problems of a lot of neck pillows, which is one side is raised up, which means it's better for leaning. And that's smart. Like, look, guys, as someone who travels all the time, I got to tell you, sleep can come at a premium. And some of these, look, the first one and the last one, I'm on board.
Right. The ones in between.
Brian, you don't like neither one of you like travel all that much, so I might sound like a crazy person. Yes,
I have never face planted anything to sleep. I'm just confused. Like, so
Are you a back sleeper?
I'm a back/side sleeper, but more importantly,
Yeah, I'm a side/face sleeper.
I just, how do you breathe? Like you're encouraging me to put my face down on the desk. How do
Well, no, I mean
breathe?
your hands.
I've got the
your
analogy.
hands get in there and they do one of those bridge things that slightly elevates your head.
Right. So you
Like you're sleeping on a deck. Did you never sleep in high school? I slept every day.
I did sleep a lot in high school. I don't think Brian did.
Brian
was a student who cared about education.
Brian, I slept every fucking day in theology. And that sort of leaning forward on both your hands there stacked up, that is one of the most comfortable positions I could be in.
Absolutely.
That is amazing.
I found out the analogy to explain the ostrich pillow for those who haven't checked out the show notes already. You know the stress toy that when you squeeze it, it's got like the thing that pops out of its ears, like it's a head.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it's shaped like. It's that weird. All right, so here's the thing though. The one that you like, the one with the armrest, is $100, Josh, $99.
Yep. And
then the other one, just the neck pillow, $60.
So I've paid $44 for a neck pillow in an airport. So I understand the inflation there, but
right.
So $60 for a neck pillow, if it really works, isn't out of the realm of possibility for me.
All right. So, I mean, every single week we use the exact same metric to rank our products. So we got to talk about what we're going to rank this week.
Well, I actually like this very much. So this is not, so in our standard metrics of measurement, this is not getting upgraded to first class, but this is like you boarded a flight and both the seats in your row are empty. That's what
this to me is like. You've got your seat on the plane, and there's a small child behind you who decides to kick the seat a couple times, but then you're told right before that everything's slowing down that family's actually being upgraded to first class. So you're annoyed for a long time, but then the rest of it's pretty smooth. It's okay at that point.
It's solid,
Brian.
This is like getting sat in between the rich Paris Hilton bitch with the little chihuahua in her purse and some guy with BO. I don't like this idea at all. This is dumb.
Oh, so you really
nice.
that's actually solid, yeah.
I don't like this.
Now, Josh, the main question I have for you is, will you pay $100 for the original ostrich pillow?
No, I mean, I'm not going to buy one, but it's cool. I've seen other ideas that are cool. I haven't bought them.
I just don't see how I can use this in my pop theater. Because the pop theater requires me to be face up, but this requires me to be face down.
And I think in Brian's perspective, the ostrich pillow people and the pop theater people need to come together, and I want to see their joint product. I'll watch that on Shark Tank.
Something I can put my face in, but also watch a movie.
Right. That again could probably get me decapitated if someone kicks me.
But do it while I travel and have a spot for my hands and be a pillow and not have tent poles.
I still don't understand why they had 10 poles. Just
well, how's you going to keep it upright?
The pop-up thing from like Five Below. Like, I don't understand how you don't make that.
The weight of your phone would just come crashing down on your face.
Figure it out.
Figure it out?
Figure it out. Don't be sorry about it. Don't put poles in there.
All right.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as I say every week, this is not a one-way conversation. We need to hear from you. We want to hear your thoughts on these topics, these products, whatever you've got. If you have an idea as well, let us know. You can always text us at 484-373-4119, or you can call that number. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter at That Kind of Nerd. If you want to help the cause for me getting slapped in the face by Brian, but make it kind of a night out, which you probably should, go to the show notes, check out our Patreon page, help donate to that. Even $5 that helps us out. I definitely would love to make this a great soiree. I want to thank...
Did you just fucking say soiree?
I just said soiree.
$5 is one more rock I can use to weigh my glove down.
There you go. I also want to thank you, listener, for making us your walk around your neighborhood or your drive to work. Thank you so much, and we will see you all next week.
If you love comics and sci-fi and technology, television, video games, and fantasy, well, take a listen to our show, I'm sure you'll see. There's many points where we can agree, like that Martha as a plot point was just too absurd, and Apple versus Android is a case to be heard, and that Josh Trank's new Fantastic Four was a turd. Well, welcome to the club, cause you are that kind of nerd.
Moving from the world of VR into the world of AR.
Hey, you stole my segue.
Yeah, well, I fucking know you.
So following up on the Pop Theater, just this is just wonderful. So whoever's in charge of the Pop Theater's social media site apparently just doesn't give a shit. They just look for anyone who mentions Pop Theater. It's like, oh, thank you so much for mentioning our product. I definitely appreciate it. So let me give you what happened. I'm sorry, I got to get the tweet. So I put into our Twitter feed, we pulled no punches with our thoughts on at Pop Theater. Should you really pay money for this? To which the Pop Theater official account goes, hey, thanks for the feature. Now, why this is awful is because I put the quote that I said with, again, our standard unit of metric for last week, which was, this is worth a pile of wrappers after you eat a bag of Tootsie Rolls.
Yep.
So
Standard
clearly
unit. Not
paying attention to what was actually being said. So to those at Pop Theater, I'm going to give you another week of going, your product sucks. Just want to make it clear this time. Absolute garbage.